The finding itself is not a surprise. After all, the evidence about the alleged culprits and the connection between the Russian state and the murder of Mr. Litvinenko has been discussed before in the inquest that took place in London and in the various other investigations. However, what is important is that this is a finding by a public inquiry headed by a judge, which had access to a large quantity of intelligence information and also consulted some of the top Russian experts in this country and beyond. The findings are also much more specific. They're not merely that this is an operation ordered by the Russian intelligence services, but also that it was authorized by the Russian state and sanctions by President Putin himself. That creates a chain of responsibility that is much more precise than ever before, and gives grounds for the British government to continue to insist that the two alleged culprits are handed over to British justice. In practice, of course, apart from providing some satisfaction to the widow of Mr. Litvinenko, this is unlikely to change the situation. What it may do, however, it may make it much more difficult for the British government to return to business as normal with Moscow. And the hope is that it may also, in a way, restrict the ability of the Russian intelligence services in the future to do as they please. The report, however, does raise some questions, some policy questions for the British government as well. The British government could continue to insist that the report will be an obstacle to any improvement in relations with Moscow. But London also has to calculate whether this particular juncture, when we need Russian support for a variety of operations in the Middle East, for instance, is the right moment to corner Moscow over this. The difficulty for the British government is that having started the process now, it would be difficult for London to downplay the next steps in this inquiry, which must be apprehending the alleged culprits.